welcome to this week in the MFL for week 6. We are already in week 7, just advanced today, so I'm actually ahead of the schedule. I got off work earlier today and figured it's a good time to knock this out. Everybody's starting to get ready for some turkey and Thanksgiving dinner and some football and family, and so if you guys are traveling, I hope that you're safe, and if you got family coming in, I hope that you enjoy your time together. And things are going to get interesting around here really fast. We're going to have some holidays, and people are going to get some time off, maybe knock out some games, and so it'll be a whole lot of fun. So let's just go ahead and take a look back, see what week 6 looked like, and then we'll take a look at week 7 and what's going to be coming around the corner. Going to try to possibly add in a Sunday night show where we maybe take some callers. I don't know. We'll see who wants to participate and how we could do that. I know last time we tried it gave us some difficulties on trying to record it, so we'll see how things go. But let's jump right in here. We got week 6, and it looks like we had some really good games going. Looks like we had some interesting scores that came out, and some teams that are starting to pull away, and some teams who are starting to lose their grip on their season. Things in the MFL can kind of get away from you pretty quickly if you're not careful. So let's jump right in there as the 2-4 Browns travel on the road to face the 1-5 Jaguars, and finally the Jaguars put it all together at home. They get a 28-14 win. Let's take a look at some stats here. We got the Browns giving up 228 yards passing. That's almost unheard of from the Jaguars, but they finally put it together. It finally worked, and look at this. Jaguars doing what they do. 105 passing yards, 49 rushing yards. They take the ball away twice, 83% on third down while only allowing 14% on third down. Looks like Norm finally got it all working. It was all clicking. Johnny struggled, only 9 for 21. He did throw a touchdown, but he threw a pick. But 9 for 21 is not going to be good. Sutton, he's a good runner. He's been playing well this year, but only 13 carries. It's just not going to cut it. You got to get more carries. It looks like they're kind of abandoning that. Fell behind early and put it in Johnny, and it just didn't work out. Blake, 2 touchdowns, 236 yards for his, by far, probably best passing game so far this year. A bunch of people touched the ball rushing. Nothing that really stood out. Altogether, almost 100 yards rushing. Again, spreading the ball around on offense, so nobody really stood out there. And just on defense, they play well. They tackle the ball carrier. They get a couple of sacks. They're going to turn you over. Even Jeremy Harris is going to get in there with a forced fumble. He recorded a sack, and so maybe that was a sack forced fumble on Johnny. But a good win, a much-needed win for the Jaguars, who play amazing defense, and they pull it away for a 28-14 win at home. Next game on the docket is going to be the Dolphins at 0-6, falling to the 4-1 Giants. The Giants have been a surprise this year. You expected them to be good, but with Pepper kind of taking a break and coming back, you don't know how good. Of course, this week was against the Dolphins. 6 takeaways for your New York Football Giants. They did allow 223 yards passing, but when you get 6 takeaways, they're probably just passing all day long, so you're going to give up some yards. On offense, they got 214 yards passing, 114 yards rushing, so a nice balanced attack. No turnovers, and that's going to be the key. Brock passes for 3 touchdowns. He goes 20 for 33. That's a nice day. Matt McGloin, I guess he is the new starting quarterback in Miami. Maybe their starter, Tannehill, is hurt. He goes 20 for 35, 223, but 4 interceptions is not going to work out well for you. A couple of different people touched the ball for the Giants. Nothing else that kind of really jumps out at you. Bunch of punts both ways, and just some really good defense as John Beeson gets 2 interceptions, and then Walter and Stevie Brown, they also toss in a couple of interceptions, and the Giants get a really good win. They're like just piling nice win on top of nice win. I know this one was against the Dolphins, so it's a little bit of an easy win, but look, Mustang is still a past champion, and you never know when he's going to put it all together. 4-1 is a nice record for the Giants. Then we got the Lions dropping a 3-point loss to the Saints on the road. The Lions have had just a rough schedule thrown at them, but even with that, they were still leading their division coming into this week. But Dave is going to force you to play perfect offense, and sometimes the Lions can let things get away from them too. 2 takeaways, 3 turnovers. They do play pretty decent defense themselves. They only allow 168 yards passing and 84 yards rushing. But the Saints play just a little bit better, and they make things happen just a little bit better. Darren Sproles, 23 carries. He gets those carries every week. He's got to be leading the lead in carries, or at least pretty far up there if you take out all the sim games. Drew Brees is 14 of 27, nothing spectacular. He does turn the ball over twice. See, here's the confusing side. Drew turns the ball over twice. Darren doesn't break 100. Matt breaks 200, 2 touchdowns, a 14 of 20, so that's a good day. Bush just doesn't carry the ball enough. Only 12 carries for 71 yards, but they still lost. It's the fumbles. The fumbles got them today. No one really sticks out on either side. Receiving, some decent punts there. Morstead is a stud, 4 punts, 48-yard average, 51 is long. Champ Bailey with another forced fumble. Keenan Lewis with a forced fumble. David Hawthorne with a forced fumble. And those are the agitating type plays that you're just ready to throw it away. But the Saints get a really good win. Tough loss for the Lions as they fall to 2-4, and the Saints improve to 5-1. The Bills at 4-2 fall to the Patriots. I called this one. This was my upset pick of the week as the Patriots move to 4-2 with a 34-28 win. And this was another solid performance from the Patriots. They're going to balance attack it. They're going to rush it. They're going to pass it. And they just play good defense. Now, they did turn the ball over 3 times today, but they take 4 takeaways away. They only allow 28% on third downs, and they're just hot right now. Tom Brady's struggling, 3 interceptions, but Phillip doesn't play much better. He does have 3 touchdowns. He does almost go for 300, but he's right under 50% passing, and he has 3 touchdowns. Here is the problem: 12 total carries for the running backs on the Bills. That's just not going to work. Evidently, they fell behind early. They abandoned the running game. That's where the 3 interceptions are going to come in. Whereas you go on the other side, Shane Vereen, 23 carries, 124 yards, 2 touchdowns. They're running the ball, eating clock and forcing you to kind of force the ball down the field, and that's where they're going to pick you off. A lot of interceptions. Revis, Mayo, and Arrington all get in the interception party. Even Harmon throws in a forced fumble. And this was a really good game and would have been a fun one to watch. And I'm just bragging a little bit because I called that one as the Patriots get a really good win at home against a really good Buffalo team who falls to 4-2. And now we go to the Bengals and the Rams. I almost wanted to pick the Bengals as my upset pick of the week. I still believe in this team, but they drop it 17-23 as they fall to 1-5. They've been right on the cusp. I mean, if you add up all their games, I'm telling you, it's got to be less than 30 points out of all 5 of those losses. They have not been blown out a whole lot. Just tough losses, or they're just a couple of yards short here, a few plays short there. The Rams, they improved to 4-2. That division is extremely strong, and they stay right in the running. Another balanced attack. The Bengals actually do really good. They hold the Rams to 133 yards passing, but they give up 185 on the ground. They cannot stop the Rams on third down, 63%, and they turn the ball over twice. Ryan Mallett is going to not break any records passing like this. But you know what? He doesn't turn the ball over. Sankey gets 27 carries for 166 yards. I don't know how these running backs are doing this, but these guys are running the ball a whole bunch of times, and they're getting a whole bunch of yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, you go back over here to the Bengals. When Bernard gets the ball, 15-plus times, this team is playing really well. Palmer plays solid. I mean, the guy's a player, 17 for 25, 240, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions hurt, Marvin Jones, 6 receptions for 111 yards. You want to see maybe a few other players get some more passes their way. But I think it goes back to the running game. Keep the ball on your side, improve that third down percentage, and improve your chances in the long run. Cornelius Washington with a big game, 4 tackles, a sack, and an interception. And the Patriots get a really nice win. The Rams get a really nice win at home to improve to 4-2. Now we got the Chargers going on the road at 1-4 to face the 4-2 Broncos, and they drop it 38-17. I guess Wynn was upset after that tough loss last week, and he takes it out on the Chargers. They get a huge passing day. Again, we go back to this third down percentage because they're eating the clock. When you don't pick up first downs, you're not able to eat that clock and keep the ball on your side. 14% on third down, and then that is how you overcome a takeaway. And so it's just a really good, solid game from the Broncos. Look, Johnny Football number 2, the new Johnny Football, 5 touchdowns, 306 yards. He passed the ball 43 times. Arian Foster, 24 carries for 116. It's funny, that big of a score, that many yards, rushing and passing. You would think some other people got to play, but they didn't. Both the Thomases get some nice receptions, 9 and 8, 101 and 75, a touchdown each. Even Wes Welker throws in 6 catches for 70. Peyton struggled against his old team, 23 of 43 for 211, but a pick. Again, Ryan Matthews, 17 carries for 32. That's not going to cut it. You got to do better than that. You got to have a better average than that. And then just looking at the defensive stacks, nothing really kind of jumps out at you. Aqib Talib with 3 tackles and an interception. Von Miller with 4 tackles and a sack. And it's a tough game for the Chargers. They're having a tough season so far. They fall to 1-4, and the Broncos stay in the hunt. Then we got the 5-1 49ers winning 14-0 on the road against the 1-4 Steelers. And this is what the 49ers do. 4 takeaways. They're going to take the ball away. They're going to eat the clock up. They're not going to blow you away with any kind of stats. 54% on third down. But look, 22% on third down for them. And then 4 turnovers. They do get 4 sacks. The 49ers just probably, other than the Jets, top 3 defense in the league, probably number 2. The Jets are pretty good, but Colin Kaepernick, 9 of 15 for 97 yards. That's a tough day. The two-headed attack seems to pay off for the 49ers as Williams and Rodgers combined for almost 100 yards. Le'Veon Bell just didn't get enough carries to get the ball going. Silva struggled, 9 of 21 and 2 interceptions. And that's what the 49ers do you. They're going to pick the ball off. They're going to force you into some tough plays. Look at this. Justin Smith, a forced fumble, 2 sacks, and 4 tackles. The old man getting it done in San Francisco. That is the best front 7 probably in the league. Navarro Bowman, 7 tackles and an interception. And the 49ers get just enough points to improve to 5-1. They have a big matchup with me this week as I got to play them twice in 3 weeks. And we're going to try to get the game in a while ago, and it didn't work out. So hopefully we can get that in tonight. Now we're going to move on to the 2-3 Packers. Am I the only one that misses Cap? I wish he wouldn't have gave up on the team. If you listen to this, you need to get back. You got to get back over here. But the 2-3 Packers win on the road. I didn't see this coming. I was going for the Bucs. I thought they were going to bounce back. They fall to 2-3 with a tough loss at home. 3 takeaways for the Bucs, 2 defensive sacks, but they just could not stop that rushing game. They seem to abandon their own rushing game. Doug Martin, Dougie Fresh, 16 carries, just not enough. Eddie Lacy, 24 carries. That's where you want to see that number. You'd like to get him up over 100, but he's really close. Even though the Bucs pick off Aaron Rodgers 3 times and Mike Glennon does not turn the ball over, they just don't have the ball enough to be able to put up enough points. And that just comes back to get them. Vince Williams, 3 tackles, 2 sacks. That's going to be a nice day for him. Deshaun Golson over here with 3 tackles and 2 interceptions. For the Bucs, who just play really good defense, but They're going to drop one on the road. They haven't put up enough points this year. They've been in these tight defensive battles, and they got to get over the hump, and they drop it to 2-3, and they need a big game coming up this week to stay alive in that NFC South. The 2-4 Bears are going to pick up a big win against the 3-3 Seahawks, the surprise team. Seahawks have played good football, but the Bears, out of nowhere, 23-14. They seem to focus this week. A little bit more of a balanced attack. The 2 takeaways are going to help them, though. Even though they give up some yards, Russell Wilson goes for 241, 2 touchdowns with the 2 takeaways, and they're 2 big takeaways. You want to probably see Marshawn get 5 to 8 more carries here, eat some more clock, maybe even bust a big run. But you give it to the Bears. They play good defense. They hold Lynch back. Adrian Peterson, that's what you want to see. 24 carries for 110. Cutler doesn't turn the ball over this week. You're not having that 4 to 6 interception game. He goes for less than 50%, but 2 touchdowns. He's feeding Adrian Peterson, and that's what works. Martellus Bennett, 4 receptions, 100 yards. We like to lean on those tight ends in the LFL, and clearly that was his number one gauge, as he looks like he only went for receivers 2 other times. Of course, you only passed the ball 6 times, or 6 completions, that is. Those stats are going to be a little skewed, but you kind of want to see more than just the tight end. But hey, it worked for them. They pick up a big win. 2 interceptions from Jennings and Pollard, and this was a tough game for the Seahawks to lose. They drop it, 9-point loss at home. They're going to have to pick it up. They got a big game this week. The Rams, the Seahawks, I think my team's going to come back. But whatever, that's a tough division, and you're probably not going to see 2 wild cards come out of that division. And so the Seahawks are going to have a big game this week. Then we got the Titans winning on the road 17-14 as they improve to 2-3, and the Falcons fall to 2-4. I still like the Falcons, but this was a tough loss. That NFC South is tough. The Panthers and the Saints are for real. The Bucs are a better team than their record. I think these Falcons are a better team than their record, but you got to win these kinds of games right here. They did get 1 takeaway. They didn't turn the ball over. But it seems to be that 3rd down percentage, only 28%. That's probably way too low. Matt Ryan doesn't turn the ball over. You want to see Freeman get a few more carries, another 5 carries. And the Titans do just enough. Sam Bradford goes 12 for 19. He has a pick, but he goes for 206. Niall Davis has 16 carries for 76 yards. The 2 touchdowns, 2 big touchdowns. They spread the ball around, so they're keeping you off your toes. You're not able to just pinpoint like the last game on one player. And Jarrell Casey, 2 big sacks and 3 tackles. And that looked to be the deal breaker as the Falcons are going to drop the 3-point loss. This was probably a really fun game to watch between 2 fun teams to watch. And that's a tough game for the Falcons to drop. Then we have the Eagles at 3-2, improving to 3-2 with a huge win on the road against the Panthers. I thought personally that the Eagles were done with. I thought they couldn't figure out their quarterback situation. The Panthers were for real. They kind of had a gift handed to them last week by the Texans. But look, you come in and you play against KD and any team that he has, and you turn the ball over 4 times, it's going to be a hard-pressed game to win. And that's exactly what happens here. Cam Newton, 3 interceptions. There's another fumble that's in there somewhere. And look, Nick Foles, nothing, blows you away, just slightly over 50%. But he doesn't turn the ball over. You want to see LaShawn get more carries than just 13 carries, but they kind of spread the ball around here. Greg Olsen with a big day, 6 receptions for 102 and a touchdown to keep the Panthers close. But here we go. We've got those turnovers. We got Thornton with the 2 tackles, a sack, and a forced fumble. Jenkins grabbing 2 interceptions, and even Trent Cole getting in on the sack game. And then John Scott also getting him an interception. These are 2 teams that know how to play defense. The Panthers are going to have another big game this week because if you fall 3-4 games behind in that NFC South, it's going to be over. Luckily, they're just a game behind. And the Falcons and the Bucs both lost last week, and so that kind of keeps you in the hunt. Even for the wild card, you're still right there. Then we have the undefeated 6-0 Jets. Am I looking at this right? The only no, your Raiders are on bye week, so only one of two undefeated teams as they go on the road and get a big 27-17 win. That was my lock of the week as Clavin has a much better showing, puts up more points than I thought he would, but just didn't play enough defense there, and he drops the game by 10 at home. One takeaway that's impressive from the Redskins. They don't turn the ball over, but we go back to this third down percentage. It's only 15% on third down, and that's just not going to be good enough. You got to keep the ball on your side. RG3 has a great day, 246, 29 of 40. Doesn't turn the ball over. He does rush the ball, 6 carries for 23 yards. But the 16 for 29 is not going to be good enough. 2 touchdowns is good, but he's going to have more yards than that. The law firm of Ivory and Johnson over here, Smith, Ivory, and Johnson, all kind of get their carries in. Nothing that blows you away. Gino has another good day, 26 of 32. Throws the ball a little bit more than what is come to be expected from him. But you know what? More touchdowns than interceptions. That's all. The only thing that you can ask for. And then Gordon over here with a big day, 8 receptions for 106. And that's going to always help your cause. Muhammad Wilkerson gets a sack on RG3. And actually, it looks like the Jets, the Redskins played a little bit better defense than the Jets overall, but the Jets stopped you on third down. And when you can't convert third downs, you got to punt the ball away, and that's never going to help you. Now we got the Ravens going on the road with a big 32-13 win against the Colts. This was an upset this week as the Ravens improved to 3-3, and the Colts drop to 4-2. That's a big game for the Colts to drop at home. And it goes back to turnovers. 5 turnovers for the Colts, only 2 for the Ravens, and that's just not going to cut it. The Ravens 10% on third down. I would assume that maybe they just didn't have a lot of third downs and they turned these defensive takeaways into touchdowns and into points. Joe Flacco back in the starting role, 9 of 20 for 138, 2 interceptions. No bueno, not good. Luck, 4 interceptions. Again, not good. Here's what you do like, though. 16 carries for 115 from Bernard Pearson, 2 touchdowns. That's going to help your cause. Ahmad, 9 for 20. Just not going to do it. That's not good enough. Hilton, 5 receptions for 161. T.Y. doing it big for a touchdown. Nothing impressive on the Ravens side. But here's where it is impressive. 1, 2, 3, 4 interceptions, 3 sacks. Here, Haloti Ngata putting the pressure up front, pushing that pocket. There's nothing worse. You go back to pass, they're playing zone. You got, 8 men, 7 men in coverage, and the defensive tackle is just blowing you up, getting sacked. 7 tackles, 4 of those for sacks, and that's going to equal a 32-13 loss. I'm sure that Ngata forced him Luck into some tough throws that he regretted, which turned into some of those interceptions. Then our last game of the week is going to be the 5-1 Chiefs. The Chiefs improving to 5-1, getting a 20-7 win over the much improved Vikings, who fall to 1-5. This team is much better than their 1-5 record would show. 2 takeaways for the Chiefs, but this is the problem. 14 yards rushing. That's not going to be good. And let's take a look at a couple stats. Teddy, you turned the ball over twice. You do have 2 touchdowns, so you got to protect the ball. Got to get more rushes here. Fake Dunn's daddy, whatever you go by. One of my favorite owners in the whole league. You got to get more rushes here. 7 carries is just not going to cut it. You look over here, it is the Jamal Charles show. If anybody has rushed the ball more than Darren Sproles, it is Jamal Charles. 28 carries for 168 yards and a touchdown. Nothing that really blows you away on either side of the receiving. But the Chiefs play good defense. 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, and they come away with a 3-point victory on the road against a much improved Vikings team. So there you go. There's your look at Week 6. Let's take a quick look at Week 7 at a couple of big games. Here is one of your betting games. The 1-4 Steelers on the road against the 2-4 Browns. I'll just say this: my money is on this game. I won't say which one, but my money is on this game. I like this game right here. The 4-1 Giants on the road to face the 1-5 Vikings. The Vikings prove they can hang with the big boys. Now, can they put it all together at home against a much improved Giants team? It's going to be interesting. I also like this game: the 1-5 Bengals on the road to face the 3-3 Ravens. This is a big game. The year's starting to get away from the Bengals. They're kind of on that edge. Do they go young and just rebuild for next season? Are they still interested in trying to make a run here? I think we'll be able to tell after this week, because this team is much better than their 1-5 record. And here, I haven't looked at all of these, but this might be your game of the week: the 5-1 Chiefs against the 5-0 Raiders. The Raiders are coming off of a bye week. Jeremy and his Chiefs are coming off a big win on the road, and they got to do it again. They got to go on the road again to face the undefeated Raiders. And then we got the Chargers at the Bears, the Cardinals at the 49ers. That should be a game that I hope doesn't get away from me. And then we got the 4-2 Rams on the road against the 3-3 Seahawks. If the Seahawks want to make a run this year, and this is the team to do it, then this is the game to show that you belong and that you're going to make it count this year. You got to win this game, any means necessary. Then we got the 3-2 Eagles on the road against the 2-3 Bucks. Bucks, if you're coming back, if you're going to make a push, you're going to show that you used to own that NFC South. Then this is the game you got to do it. You cannot fall to 2-4. It can't happen. You got to win this game. This is a pivotal game for both teams. And then we got the 5-1 Saints going to the 1-4 Redskins. Don't fall asleep on the Redskins, but Dave should handle business. The 2-3 Titans are going on the road against the freshly won 1-5 Jaguars. Let's see which team shows up on both of these sides. That might be an interesting game to see. Then the Cowboys at 0-5 are coming off their bye week to face the 2-3 Packers. The 0-6 Dolphins travel to face the 4-2 Patriots. That one might get out of hand pretty quick if it's not careful. The 2-4 Falcons are going to face the 4-2 Colts. Colts are coming off that big loss last week. Falcons, I don't know. You're going to have to get a win and get some luck. And then finally, we have your champion Texans at 3-2 going to face the undefeated Jets at 6-0. Can the Jets keep it going? Can they keep it rolling? Can they keep things going? Or can the Texans turn it around? It's going to be a fun game to watch. So we got a couple of really good games to watch. Here's your playoff race in the AFC. Of course, your Jets played last week while the Raiders were on a bye week, and so, of course, they're taking the lead. Colts drop a big game. The Ravens throw themselves right back in the mix with the big win last week. And the Broncos, if he doesn't kill himself, he's going to be in the mix. That should be a pretty fun matchup, a pretty fun race to watch as it kind of unfolds. And then you've got the NFC, the 5-1 Saints, the 5-1 49ers who overtake the Cards, who were on bye week last week. The shocking to me, he's a good player, and it's not because he's winning. It's just he's been on break. He kind of doesn't really like the game that much, and here he comes back. He takes back his old team and he improves to 4-1. And then the Packers, and then the division that no one seems to want to win are in there. And then, of course, you got a couple of teams in the same division with the Cards, the Rams, even the Seahawks are still on the bubble. And the Panthers, that was a big loss last week. They needed it. Hey, and the Eagles, you're right there. KD's right there. It'll be interesting to see kind of what he does. We got Johnny Fisher, huge year. He's probably early favorite in the Rookie of the Year run here. 14 touchdowns, 1,500 yards. This is funny. 156 for Jamal Charles, 144 for Trent, and I'm telling you, Darren Sproles has got to be up there. It'd be interesting to see which of those guys. Reggie was quiet last week. Foster's kind of turned it on these last couple of weeks, so that's another fun race to 2,000. See if we have a running back actually break 2,000 this year. Mike Wallace having a huge year for his team, who just can't seem to put it all together. And then we get into a couple of interception leaders. Teddy, got to do a better job. Stafford, better job. Luck, better job. I mean, these teams are trying to contend here. They got to stop turning the ball over so much. Cutler, much better game this past week, but he's still up there overall. Nothing else that kind of really sticks out to you. You like these interception leaders here. Terrell Brown, 6 picks and 6 tackles. That's pretty efficient. A tackle for every interception that he gets. Some interesting races that we took a good look at last week. And of course, we took a good look at the power rankings. I still would take Raiders up above the Jets, probably. I know that they won last week. They've been on a roll, but give me Raiders 1, Jets 2. Giants, I love you, but you're not going to be 3. I'm going to take Chiefs 3, Saints 4. You know what? Give me 49ers 4, Saints 5, Giants 6. And then we kind of get into a couple of those other teams. But those are kind of my top 6 teams. Fisher with a huge game last week. Again, we'll take a quick look at those, but he's kind of taking an early lead on the Rookie of the Year. My wife is handing me food, so that's why I'm pausing. But he's taking an early lead on the Rookie of the Year race that's going on. And so here's a good look at your rookies. Rookies are making a huge impact. Sutton should probably be way better than 473, but he's just not getting enough carries. No one else is doing a good job. When a quarterback is third in rushing for rookies, it's probably not a really great sign. So there you have it. There are your leaders. We can take a quick look at your betting thread before we move along here and call this a day. Let's jump in here to week 7. So here are your early leaders. Jeremy with a huge bet last week. I took a good team. I just didn't bet good enough. Jeremy blew me out of the water with that one as he goes for the huge win. He has 550 points. I'm in second with 315. 00 with 200. KD with 200. Cleveland, Emo at 125. And then you got a couple of people who are almost out of it. D-Money was eliminated last week. And here are your games. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Cleveland's giving up 2 at home. Eagles and the Bucks, a pick 'em. There are some tempting games here. Eagles and Bucks. I'm staying away from it because I don't know which Bucks team and which Eagles team is going to show up. That's why it's a pick 'em. Tennessee, Jacksonville's getting 2 at home against Tennessee. That should be another interesting game to kind of see who's going to win. And then the Falcons and the Colts. Pick 'em. You would lean towards the Colts, but I'm telling you, the Falcons are a good team. Jets laying 4 at home against the Texans. That's another really tempting game. My money is on the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns game. I think that's for my money, that's the safest bet. And we'll kind of see how things work out. Advance is going to be tentatively on Black Friday. We'll kind of see how that works out. So there you go. There is a look back at week 6 in the OMFL. Jeremy, if you could get some updated pictures here, that'd be nice. I'm kind of tired of looking at the ugly Manning boys rotate through here. But, man, it's been a fun season so far. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Maybe we can throw a Sunday night show where we take in some guests. Hey, I'd even be open to you guys sending me questions that we can take a look at. Totally up to you. If you do want to do questions, feel free to post them on the thread whenever I post this, and I'll answer them the following week. I'll take a look at what you want to talk about. This is your show. I want to make this interesting for you. So I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a great holiday. Be safe out there. Don't eat that much turkey, and watch a lot of football. All right, guys.